Hi, my name is Julia. I'm going to read two poems. The first one is about the wind. Wind, Anomoi species, in which what is far away is made nearer and what is close is removed. The wind, whether water or organic material, even the tough guy act of rock, but still there is the question of this wind, this who is it, this breath, and who is breathing. Herodotus heard from his travelers that 4 men, gods, squatted each in one direction, facing his brother, and blew in the seasons, and slept with the odd Greek youth or maid when his turn for the year was over. Their parents were the stars in the dawn, and their talk brought the new green, the fall's lingering gold, the devouring cold of winter. This, the conversation of the earth as language is breathing, is wind. 4 men, to say it all that can be said of lust and enveloping into stillness. In short, the growing season. Impossible to authenticate Herodotus's recounting, what with our desires living side by side to our scientific organs of thought. At times we want the wind pulled into a grandfather out puffing his cheeks, ready to ungate tendrils of a ribbon that push ships over tropic zones and reconvene as the horsehead spray tipping waves onto shore. We may go so far as to feel the same urgency in the hiss of a lover's whisper close against the cheek, sewing the neck with goosebumps. The Greeks, in their wisdom, gave us the right lullaby word, the susurrus, the moonlight rustle perhaps translating Moses' cradle, basketing through the reeds, just as we need to find him. We may even go so far as to close our eyes to the sight of dust storm over pineapple fields, to the angle at which raindrops are deposited on concrete, to the shape of a swell and its surface surging, and choose instead to feel these forces silent with our skin. These forces, the consonants of the wind. The wind brings and takes. Its faces fall from our own and what we want where we are, for the wind has ever been bigger. The embrace of it all, preparing the land for life, and then speaking it upright, one dandelion seed at a time. This one's called Bodies of Water. It has footnotes, which I recognize is a problematic technique to use when reading out loud. So I'm going to do something that's kind of clunky, which is to say with my finger, you know, here's the footnote, it's coming in right now. You know, and you can laugh when you think you're supposed to laugh, it's acceptable. Bodies of water. Between the faint varicose veins and the stretch marks, my body is like a map of the Amazon, feathery and without end. You know, see Jeanette Winterson. Lazy estuaries trailing to El Dorado. If only you kept going on that fool's errand, its righteousness a cleansing sweat, I swear you'd have found something of value. Her body was a survey of Philippine inlets, or the watershed along the Apennine spine, or whatever the hell rivers in Korea. And let's not forget the smaller routes, good only for charting weekend cruises. Those were treasured maps, I'm sure, with dainty deckled edges and the musk of spice, rum, conquest, whatever, worth the price. The angrier. Of course. I don't blame you for getting lost in those places. Just remember that an inviting glance is a less forgiving wilderness than it would seem between pillow and mouth. Beware the cougars. Puma species range from the Yukon to the Andes. They are often dressed in leopard skin. That should be clear once you set a course homeward. But sounding the strait is so tedious, I know. Yet, if you don't, the shoals might shift, the world might spin. That precious piece of vellum pointing you towards salvation might wrinkle in the heat, and then the way will succumb to the desperate. The desperate will succumb to the way. until suddenly, out of the mist, spiked conquistador heads, howler monkey mouths, crying wolf, begging for mercy from fate and God. All explorers chase a watery grave. Better drowned in cliche? Isn't it called the Pacific Ocean because it doesn't hold a grudge? The pathetic fallacy, the calm before the storm. Sigh. 6. Insert Socratic question here to add in conflict and irritation. It's easy. Vessels remember their passengers. Rivers remember the beds they have lain in. Bodies trespassed in time start hunting disaster down. Pizarro fucked and drowned. 7. Gonzalo Pizarro died on April 10, 1548, beheaded by Spanish royal forces after relinquishing support for the crown's claim on Peru, due to a dispute over fair treatment for the indigenous peoples. Mea culpa, and maxima culpa. Thank you.